playing basketball. You're gonna go through a point where your body hurts or you're mentally drained. Those are the times that like your mental toughness has to kick in. I have to play. I have to do what I do. When you break the barrier, that's how the grace become grace. My name is Willie Cauley-Stein. I'm a professional basketball player for the Sacramento Kings. I grew up in a super small town in Kansas, by the border of Oklahoma and Colorado. It was like in the corner. But it's called Spearville. I mean, it's just so simple. Because it's so small, it was like a huge playground. You run around town, like jumping off things, thinking you were superheroes or something. We used to do bike races a lot. Everything was like a competition. I grew up with my grandparents. It was dope. You know, you always hyped to see your grandparents, but I got to see them every day. And everybody always funneled through our house. That was like the cool part about it. Like I shared a bedroom with 3 of my cousins, so I always had somebody in the room. We were sharing beds, like you showered together because we only had 1 shower. I feel like that's why I can't be alone. Like I have to have a squad with me. We're in the estate, the Trill estate. Me and my boys live here. Damn, bro, look at Worm's fat head broke the snap. You know, Rex has been with me since we was toddlers. My little brother just moved with me. And then my boy Worm, I had met him in a stats class. I feel like, I don't know, I've known him my whole life. I wouldn't make it if I didn't have my squad with me. I think I started off playing kickball. I was called it kickball. Any little PE activity thing that we did, I was always the best at. I was always the fastest kid. I was always the biggest kid in my class. Always. And then I was like the same size as my older brother and his friends. So I would always play with them. That's probably how I knew I was gonna be pretty good. Playing with guys that are 5 years older than me and like getting buckets. I used to pitch, used to play first base. When I was a freshman, I started in left field and then pitched a little bit on the JV team. But I decided to focus more on basketball. Oh, Worm. Jeez. I told you he's wild. Growing up in Kansas, I didn't get put on the map until I was a sophomore in high school. That's when like it just started snowball effecting into something cool. Started becoming a superstar super early. I remember just having like a big old meeting with like my grandparents, my mom. We all just had this like big talk. And they're like, you're not gonna be able to go to a D1 college unless you make a change. And it was the hardest decision of my life. Like I remember days like leading up to like my decision to leave. I didn't know how to tell my best friends or people I grew up with that I wasn't gonna graduate with them. It's like a big deal, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's your graduating class. That's the people you grew up with, so. I moved to Olathe, Kansas. It was like a culture shock. Talk about movie. I felt like I was living in High School Musical. Like, that's what it felt like. My school was so big and it was super modern. Like, there's plasma screens in the hallway. Like I didn't know the person next to me. That was crazy to me. Like, I don't even know who this person's name is. I called my grandma on the house phone and I was like, I hate it here. Like, I gotta leave. Like, I can't live here. And then my grandma almost broke in, though. That's what really, like, she really asked me. She was like, I could tell it in her voice, like, she's like, do you really want to come back home? That was like a turning point in my life, right there, that moment. And I was like, nah. And I think that's what changed my whole life, like that point. Like, I could have went back. And I wouldn't have went to college. Like, I think that's when I started figuring out life. You can't beat work, you know?
Whoa. Get through that, get through that.
I feel like I could finesse anything in life. You can't finesse work. I feel like I'm Bruce Wayne, but then when I'm playing basketball, I'm that man. I'm putting my dirt in, get my work in, so I could live like Bruce Wayne.
You don't want to be just a screamer or just a
I don't.
There's so much more in your game. The one thing about Willie is sometimes you can mistake his laid-back, kind of really nice, calm demeanor for maybe he's not giving you the best of who he is.
Him? Oh, shit.
Willie gets on the court and he rips off, you know, there's Clark Kent and then there's Superman.
I'm back.
You see this fire in him and you're like, who is that masked man?
Boom, right in the middle. Nice.
After practice, most home games, we go to the driving range. Golf is so mental. Gets into a mental state, like, I don't know, gets my mind right before the game. I'm not good with the wedges, bro. It's on my short game. We gotta order some Nike golf gear. Oh, man, that's, and I feel like I'm not looking good right now, so I'm not playing good. When I first got to University of Kentucky, I was always kind of the outcast of the basketball team. Like, I was always doing my own thing. I was a skater kid, like from Olathe, Kansas. I was riding around on like a big old longboard around campus. People thought I was super weird. They're like, oh, that's a skateboard kid that plays basketball. All the dudes thought I was like super weird, but at the same time, he was cool. I was so weird that I was like intrigued them to see what the hell I was about to do next. After the driving range, I normally have like 3 hours to just come back to the crib. Today, my mom will be here. I'll be sick. She hasn't been to the house yet. And it's the first thing she gets to watch. So hopefully I go off. You guys. Oh. I'm out. My mom's like my best friend. Our relationships always stay kind of consistent. Like, she always made trips to see us. Like, even though we didn't live with her. She spent her paycheck on coming to see us.
Well, I promise I won't embarrass you.
She's kind of nuts. Like, she gets kind of into it at the games.
I won't yell too much, I promise. It won't be like college.
So I gotta play good, because if I play bad, then she'll be yelling at me, and then I can't be having that. Friday night, yeah. About to get suited, play the Rockets. How you doing?
Hey, dog, you know what I'm saying? How you doing? G? Yeah, let's do this thing.
There's 24,000 people in the arena. It used to make me nervous. Coming from Spearville, where like, you was a spotlight, but you was a spotlight to 20 people, to like being a spotlight to the whole like country. I feel like Superman, like right when he got to Earth. Like, that's how I feel. There's so much stuff in this world that I don't even know. It's mental. Anytime you're doing something that nobody said you can do, that's the mental breakthrough. The moment where I chose to do schoolwork instead of being lazy, like that's a breakthrough. Games where you have like a 20-point game and you followed it with like 10 rebounds and like 4 blocks and like 3 steals, that's a breakthrough. You break the barrier. And once you figure that out, like that's when you can do anything. Epic, right?
Back in for the Kings, Willie Cauley-Stein.